8 billion people jump at the exact same moment. And nothing happens to the Earth. Nothing. Not even a tremor. But something happens to us. And that's the part nobody talks about. For centuries, humans have asked this question as a joke, as a thought experiment, as a way to feel clever at parties. But when you actually run the numbers, when you follow this idea all the way to its logical end, you don't arrive at physics. You arrive at something much darker. Something about what we are, and what we're not. Stay with me, because where this goes is somewhere nobody expects. Picture it. Every single human being alive right now, all 8 billion of us, gathered in one place. Scientists actually use the state of Rhode Island for this thought experiment. It's small enough, and if you packed every human on Earth shoulder to shoulder, we'd all fit inside it. So there we are. 8 billion people, standing on the soil of Rhode Island, and on a single signal, every single one of us leaps as high as we can. The average human can jump about half a meter off the ground. Some higher, some barely at all. But let's be generous. Let's say everyone gives it everything they've got. 8 billion bodies, all launching skyward at the same instant. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part is what happens when we land. When 8 billion people hit the ground at the same moment, we generate a seismic event. Scientists have calculated it. It registers somewhere around magnitude 8 on the Richter scale for a brief instant. That's equivalent to a major earthquake. But it's localized. It's concentrated in Rhode Island. The ground shakes violently, buildings crack, panic erupts. And then, within seconds, it's over. The seismic waves disperse. The world moves on. Now you might think that's the punchline. The Earth doesn't care about us. Haha, we're insignificant. But I need you to sit with what we just described, because there's something buried in it. 8 billion people, every culture, every language, every ideology, every person who's ever wanted to destroy another person, standing shoulder to shoulder, acting in perfect synchrony. Not because of a war. Not because of a disaster. But because we all agreed to. That has never happened. Not once in the history of our species. And almost nobody talks about this. Before I show you what that actually means, you need to understand something about how humans coordinate. We are the only species on Earth that can coordinate with strangers. You can hand $1 to someone you've never met in exchange for coffee, and it works, because you both believe in a shared fiction called currency. You can drive on a road with thousands of people you'll never know, and almost none of you die today, because you all agreed to believe in painted lines. Human civilization isn't built on steel or concrete. It's built on synchronized belief. And here's where everything changes. The question isn't really whether jumping would move the Earth. The question is, what would it take to get everyone to jump at the same time? What shared belief would have to exist across 8 billion people, in 100 different languages, across every border, every religion, every historical wound, for everyone to agree to do the same thing at the same time? The answer is, we have no idea. We've never come close. The closest we've ever gotten to global human synchrony is watching the same sporting event, or mourning the same disaster. And even then, half the world doesn't care. Even then, we're divided. We have never, not once, acted as a single species. And the jump thought experiment reveals that, quietly, if you're paying attention. What would you have done, standing in Rhode Island, shoulder to shoulder with the person who represents everything you fear, everything you were raised to distrust, everything your history tells you is the enemy? Would you jump? That question doesn't have a comfortable answer. And that's terrifying. Not because of the physics. Because of what it means. Even in a scenario where we're all in the same place, doing the same thing, wanting the same outcome, if we're even slightly out of sync, we accomplish nothing. The impact of 8 billion people, every human alive, disappears entirely because of 1 second of imperfect coordination. 1 second. That's the story of every revolution that failed. Every peace agreement that collapsed. Every movement that burned out before it changed anything. We were all jumping. We just weren't jumping together. The Earth doesn't move when we jump. We've established that. Our mass is laughably insufficient against a planet. We are, by the hard arithmetic of the universe, irrelevant. And yet we built the pyramids. We sequenced the genome. We sent a gold record into interstellar space with the sound of a mother's first words to her child, on the slim impossible chance that something out there might one day hear it. We did that. We did all of that without ever once acting as a single species, without ever achieving the synchrony the jump requires. What are we capable of if we ever do? That's the question the science leaves you with. Not a joke. Not a Reddit thought experiment. A genuine, open wound of a question. We can't move the Earth. We know that now. But we don't actually know what we can move if we ever stop being 1 second out of sync with each other. The universe is 13.8 billion years old. We've been here for less than 0.01 of that. We haven't jumped yet. Not really. Not together. Maybe we will. Maybe that's the most frightening possibility of all. And if you think that's unsettling, wait until you hear what scientists discovered when they asked the opposite question. Not what happens when 8 billion people do the same thing, but what happens when just one person does something no one else on Earth has ever done, and the ripple it creates is still moving right now. That's what we're exploring next.